CTV News.
Well, he can kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go at him full steam.
Trade war trash talk, and Ontario's premier is punching back. Donald Trump threatening 50% tariffs on cars, trucks, auto parts, and steel, turning up the heat just days after trade talks collapsed. The latest threat comes after Canada walked away from a trade deal it called unacceptable as Ottawa prepares to hit back. Those threatened 50% tariffs on auto, of course, a source of stress in our region. As CTV's Robert Lothian reports, stakeholders say any worsened trade war would be devastating for local auto workers.
Caught in the middle of the Canada-U.S. trade war, the auto sector has been bruised and battered. And with recent talks falling apart, permanent relief appears distant.
Clearly, the signal is that the U.S. was going to hit us with a giant tariff that would impact us, our industry, and thousands upon thousands of jobs would be lost.
The two countries each have 25% auto tariffs targeting different components. Now U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening to double that. And Canada's automotive capital, Unifor Auto Council Chair John Dagnolo says he supports the decision to walk away from the table.
You're actually trying to decimate the auto industry so they don't build anything here, even though we sell 2 million cars here.
Prime Minister Mark Carney saying Saturday the U.S. proposed changes to vehicle levies as part of several last-minute demands.
Americans wanted to limit it to autos only, not include medium and heavy autos and light trucks, to be more specific, not include medium and heavy-duty trucks, which is a big change, obviously.
Parts and vehicles often flow both ways over the border several times, allowing for any permanent tariffs, experts say, will cost the industry.
Ford's Oakville plant has to compete with 100 other manufacturing plants Ford has in its system. It can't run a charity in Oakville, Ontario, and then grind it out in Dearborn, Michigan.
Dagnolo says Canada can't settle for permanent auto tariffs, even if it's a reduction from the current rate.
We have to fight like hell to protect these jobs, and I think this was the right move.
Until a new deal is reached, Dagnolo says affected industries will be looking to Ottawa for support, hoping to come out on the other side of this trade war. Robert Lothian, CTV News, Windsor.
And beyond auto, the fallout from this trade war bombshell is touching everything from manufacturing to retail. Here's CTV's Chris Campbell now with more.
The latest tariff escalation is hitting a nerve here in Windsor, and not just in the auto sector. At this independent grocery store on Erie Street, owner Jimmy Poilievre says customers are already looking for more Canadian-made products.
A lot of my customers, they want to buy Canadian-made products. They don't want to buy no American, no stuff. They just want to support us.
But Poilievre says the cost of doing business is already adding up, including higher freight costs.
It doesn't seem like a lot, but you add it all up, and it's a big number. You know, we can't go like that.
And he worries the latest tariffs could have a much bigger impact on families.
The new tariffs, so it's going to kill us. It's not funny. I mean, how about these people that have one person working in family?
That concern is also being felt in manufacturing. Cavalier Tool and Manufacturing makes molds for everything from automotive products to washing machines and household goods.
We are predominantly non-automotive. We're a very diversified company. Probably about 15% of our business is automotive.
International business manager Chris Vanderpark says that diversification doesn't mean the company is immune, because the tariffs can touch many of the products its customers make.
Anything that is steel derivative is tariffed, not just automotive.
And that uncertainty is making it difficult to plan ahead.
Very, very difficult for us to do business. It's the difficult part is I don't know what tomorrow looks like.
At Black's Bakery, owner Valerie Black says the impact could show up in the cost of replacing equipment and eventually in the price of a loaf of bread.
Where it's going to affect us is any parts for equipment. That is the problem. It's only going to end up having us put our prices up, right?
And she says a prolonged trade fight could eventually come full circle, hurting the very customers local businesses rely on.
Because of Windsor being so automotive, you know, like as soon as it's going to start affecting more of the automotive, it's going to affect our customers because our customers aren't going to have money to come and buy bread.
According to business owners here, the biggest concern may be the uncertainty and how much of these higher costs will eventually make their way to consumers. In Windsor, Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Official opposition leader Pierre Poilievre wrapped up a day of touring Windsor tonight with a rally.
We've seen our auto production down by half in the last decade. The answer is we have to bring back the auto pack. The 1965 auto pack.
Poilievre speaking to a crowd of hundreds at the Chicharo Club this evening. He's continuing calls for Prime Minister Mark Carney to release details of a trade deal proposed by the U.S. government that the Carney government ultimately rejected. The Conservative Party is also lobbying for policies from the party's proposed auto strategy. We did talk with some participants about their thoughts on the federal government's efforts to negotiate stateside. Here's what they had to say.
Not getting the impression that he's been at the table doing what he should be doing with dealing with somebody like Trump. I don't think he's been handling it properly.
If we were able to more effectively, export and import the materials that we have, our economic power could increase significantly.
It's places like Windsor that the current government should be focusing on, and they're not. They're just kind of floating around like it's a regular business deal.
And our Stephanie Mazzotti met with Pierre Poilievre for an in-depth interview in Windsor today, covering everything from tariffs and trade negotiations to Canadian jobs and affordability. We'll bring you a portion of that later in the show. Meanwhile, a Toronto man has been sentenced to 22 years in prison for murdering a young woman from Essex. Juliana Panunzio was shot and killed at a house party in Fort Erie, along with her friend Christine Crooks. As CTV's Michelle Molesky explains, the family of Juliana Panunzio begged for Christopher Lucas to be sent to prison with the highest punishment possible.
Juliana Panunzio is described by her family as spunky, a loyal friend, and an animal lover, a young woman with a bright future. I question every decision and every interaction, and I find fault. Panunzio's biological mother, Lisa Mulcaster, told the court today. I did everything wrong. I must have, because she's no longer here. It was me she called upon to ward off monsters, Father Mark Panunzio said. Unfortunately, on January 19th, 2021, she met a monster I couldn't keep her safe from. That day, Panunzio went with her friend Christine Crooks to a house party here in Fort Erie. Crooks was in a relationship with Christopher Lucas. Some argument ensued between them, and he shot Crooks in the finger. Panunzio, the Crown theorizes, tried to help her friend and call 911, but she was fatally shot 4 times by Lucas. The healing doesn't begin until after we know that there is some small symbol of justice for her senseless death. Juliana's bonus mom, Shelley Panunzio, said to the judge. The Crown asked for a sentence of 25 years parole ineligibility, while the defense sought 18 years. Lucas had nothing to say to the judge before he was sentenced. Late Monday, Justice James Ramsey sentenced Lucas to 22 years in prison before he can apply for parole. The murder of Juliana Panunzio was a cold-blooded measure to eliminate a witness. It shows a chilling indifference to life, the judge said. Justice Ramsey characterized Lucas as dangerous, adding, he will never be paroled unless things change. Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Turning now to a Monday morning traffic snarl in Tecumseh as OPP investigate a sudden death near the 401. Officers were called to the area of Lakeshore Road 103 just after 6:30 this morning. A 51-year-old man was found dead at the scene, prompting a heavy police presence and traffic delays. OPP say the investigation is still in its early stages and there is no threat to public safety. While changes are coming to how Essex Windsor EMS dispatches ambulances. Starting on September 16th, they are moving to a, quote, medical priority dispatch system. This will allow communications officers to ask more detailed questions to determine the severity of the medical emergency. Officials say increased accuracy will allow paramedics to respond to the most urgent cases first. Essex Windsor EMS Chief Justin Lammer says paramedics have responded to a high number of severe calls calls, only to learn they did not require a light and sirens response.
When we get into depleted resources, that MPDS really has a good effect because it holds back the low acuity calls and allows us to leave ambulances on the road for the life-threatening emergencies, which when we look across the province at the services that have switched, they're seeing improvements in the response times because resources are available.
Still ahead, a dream vacation derails and a couple is left waiting months for nearly $10,000 in refunds. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining me now for a look at the forecast. Gary, a beautiful day today, hoping for more of the same throughout the rest of this week.
I think that we are in for at least one more day tomorrow, Sanjay. Good evening, sir. Good evening, folks. Today was gorgeous, especially in the morning. A bit windy, yes, but a beautiful blue sky. The air quality was quite good, so that only made the air feel certainly fresher. Today's daytime high, 25.5, right in line with the average, a 25.9, seasonal across the board in southern Ontario. However, the spin of low pressure, and you can make out that counterclockwise swirl, right? Satellite imagery giving us the cloud cover, the radar composites put together, give us the precipitation from this cluster. And circulating right over here, southern parts of lower Great Lakes, we still see a few trailing showers. The worst weather has passed through parts of Kingston and Napanee and certainly the Ottawa Valley. Now we're looking at some cooler temperatures through the overnight under partly cloudy conditions. It certainly got cloudier in the afternoon today, early evening, but through the overnight we'll get down to about 13 or 14 degrees Celsius. Our average for this time of the year is closer to 16 to 17 across parts of extreme southwestern Ontario. Rainfall is well to our northeast or east, and that's good news. We remain dry and looking good for a dry overnight. Technically, tomorrow morning, starting early, past midnight, through to dawn, our lowest temperature about 14. Some areas might get down to about 13 under mostly cloudy conditions and a relatively calm wind scenario. Here's the breakdown for tomorrow, Tuesday. Starts off with a mixture of sun and cloud. The winds are very light. Might not even notice them at all through the midday and even early afternoon. By the late afternoon, we'll get to a high of about 26, feeling like 30. That's your humidex value. And the wind shifting now, instead of out of the northerly persuasion, out of the south, sustained at around 15 kilometers per hour with gusts in the low 20s. So tomorrow looks good, especially for golf in the morning. So if you can swing that would be ideal. Wednesday, cloudy, high of 26, still cloudy, and now precipitation is in the story. We're looking at about a 40% chance of showers Thursday. Back to some sunshine, a ridge of high pressure takes hold, and it looks good for Friday, 26. That's seasonal. At this juncture, the weekend looks great, too. Another great outing for golf, with temperatures in the mid to upper 20s before things cool off next week, down to about 23 come Monday. Sanjay?
And as we showed you earlier, opposition leader Pierre Poilievre was in town today, and earlier in the day, CTV's Stephanie Mazzotti met with him down by the Detroit River to talk tariffs and a need for unity.
So, Mr. Poilievre, it's hard to believe that it was just recently we had the Canada-only celebration at the Gordie Howe Bridge right behind us, supposed to bring both of our countries together more than ever, particularly when it comes to trade. We are in a totally different situation right now. My first question to you is, do you support the Prime Minister's decision not to take a trade deal, and do you support the retaliatory tariffs that may be imposed?
So two questions there. First of all, we need to see the deal that we rejected. So far, Canadians have not seen it. The Trump administration has seen it. The Carney government has seen it. Canadians have not seen it. And Canadians need to know what it is that we are rejecting. My view is that we need to fight for tariff-free trade. We can't have one-way tariffs that will deindustrialize the key and strategic sectors of our economy: aluminum, steel, lumber, and of course, most important of all here in Windsor, automotives. And so I want to know what was on the table and what we rejected. So we've called for the Prime Minister to release the text, reopen Parliament, and tell Canadians what his plan will cost them in higher prices and job losses, so that we can make a real judgment about where we go from here.
Amongst the Prime Minister, the Premiers, the theme that comes across here is unity. Is that the approach we should continue to take when we're dealing with the U.S. administration?
Yes, we have to be absolutely united in fighting for our workers and for our affordability. The Canadian people have suffered enough, and we have to come together and support the families who are facing the growing challenges of this escalating trade dispute, and come together to support our country.
And there's much more to Stephanie's conversation with the Conservative leader. You can find the full interview over on ctvnewswindsor.ca. Well, when you're booking a flight, hotel room, or rental car, you can often get a better deal if you book through a third-party website. But in the event you need to make a change or there's a cancellation, you could end up stuck in the middle trying to get help. CTV's Pat Foran now with the story of a couple who planned a dream vacation and were on the plane when the flight was canceled.
Very disappointed, but on the other hand, safety comes first.
Vivian of Mississauga asked we only use her first name. She flew to Poland in March to meet her husband, and they planned an anniversary trip. First to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, and then on to the Maldives Islands in the Indian Ocean. They were on the plane ready to take off when the conflict in the Middle East caused the airline to cancel their flight.
Unfortunately, the war broke out and we stuck on the plane and the flight got canceled because the airspace was closed in Abu Dhabi.
The 2 round-trip tickets cost almost $10,000. When Vivian contacted the airline, Etihad Airways, she was told she was entitled to a full refund. But because she booked through Expedia, the money would have to be refunded to the booking website first. Etihad Airways issued the refund of almost $10,000 to Expedia, and Vivian was told she would get her money back in 4 to 8 weeks. But she never did.
We expect a refund by April. And then we call in April and never happened. And they said another 4 to 8 weeks.
Months passed, and despite promises, the refund never showed up. Vivian became concerned she might never get it.
Everybody said the same thing, but I just don't see the money back. I don't see my money.
When CTV News reached out to Expedia on Vivian's behalf, a spokesperson said, upon investigation, her refund request was submitted incorrectly to the airline. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience this caused. Expedia then refunded the $9,934 right away, which was great news for her.
We got the money back, a full refund, and plus they give us a $400 credit. We really appreciate the help. Wish all the best for CTV.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
On the markets today, the TSX gained 94 points while the Dow added 140, the Nasdaq falling 200. The Canadian dollar is down close to half a cent. Gold gained $17 an ounce while oil dropped $2 a barrel. A new 50% U.S. tariff is hitting Canadian artists, with some now facing hundreds of dollars in extra costs just to sell their work across the border. As CTV's John Venevali-Rao reports, some artists are now rethinking whether selling to their biggest market is even worth it.
These 12 by 12 squares are what I'm known for.
Laurette Lusagic showed us the kind of artwork she creates and has sold to customers in 40 countries. But one nation in particular makes up the single biggest share of her sales, the U.S.
It's about a third of my income, or maybe even half, depending on the year.
The Toronto-based artist says American clients are her bread and butter and was stunned to hear her works would be tariffed at 50%. Driven home just this morning after she packed up a small $450 piece, sold this past weekend to an American. And when she went online to ship it, the charge, including the new tariff, was over $260, way up from the $30 to $50 it used to cost for shipping only.
Oh, I immediately burst into tears because it was real.
Lusajic says, like many artists, she makes a very modest living and worries she'll lose many of her U.S. customers who won't want to pay such a huge tariff. A cancer survivor, she's been through adversity before, hoping to maybe make up some lost sales by finding more domestic buyers. But it may be tough.
I can only encourage Canadians to buy local art.
Among the Canadian artwork being tariffed, paintings and drawings, collages, sculptures, original prints, and works incorporating materials like bone and antler, which could hit Indigenous artists particularly hard. June Hunter is a Vancouver-based photographer and artist who specializes in images of ravens and crows. She sells about 50 pieces a month to Americans, but has now suspended most of her sales to the U.S. until, as she puts it, the dust settles on this latest flare-up, which is threatening half her business.
I'm obviously not alone. We're all in this together. I feel lucky, and at least I'm not having to lay anybody off. It's just me having to pivot on my own.
Meanwhile, the artists say they'll continue to make art, but making a living from it just got a lot harder. John Benavelli, Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
A piece of Essex history receiving some well-deserved recognition today. The Essex House was a favorite of Canada's Southern Railway passengers and survived the town's infamous nitrogen explosion of 1907. As CTV's Bob Belichico reports, the rustic home is in the fitting hands of a perfect match.
This heritage plaque stands in front of the oldest home in the Essex Centre belonging to Lori Kautiak.
I joined the Municipal Heritage Committee so that I could find out everything about designation and everything so that I could get this house designated because I didn't want anything to ever happen to it.
Built in 1870, the home is steps away from the old train station in Essex.
It was used as a boarding house for a period of time because of its location close to the train station. So they had a lot here that people would travel and stay overnight or use as a destination as well.
About 42 years ago, I had my hair done by a family that was doing hair out of the back kitchen.
Known as the Essex House, it was a popular stop to rest and have a cup of coffee for travelers back in the day. The home survived the infamous explosion of 1907, 75 yards away from the rail station. Kautiak has owned the home since 1987, and the house received formal designation under the Ontario Heritage Act in 2014.
Right before me, they cut this banister, the edge of the banister, because they had a wall, and then they had a wall over there because they had different rental units.
Not only is the house historic, but so are the contents. Kautiak is an avid antique collector who bought her first piece, this chair, when she was 14.
And then in the mobile home, moved to there with the husband, and antiques just didn't look good in there. So then I slowly looked around, found this one.
This house has a greeter and stunning antiques everywhere.
We all appreciate it and think it's great.
There is a lot of work to do, including stripping generations of old paint.
So as you saw, the house is still a work in progress, but one day Kautiak would love to open it up at least once a month for the public to come and see the antiques and just feel the history of the home. It's really awesome. But if she does it, she's going to do it in conjunction with the train station.
She hopes to turn it into a museum of it one day if she's able to get the financing available for it.
Yeah, museum, but she's got to have her own private life as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she could live in the museum.
She is.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Gary is back with a final look at weather. Gary.
Sanjay, I'm calling for a quiet, cool-ish evening overnight into tomorrow morning. The clouds tomorrow will not the precipitating variety, so that's some good news. By Wednesday, increasing cloudiness. Both Tuesday and Wednesday, daytime highs about 26 degrees Celsius. That's average for this time of the year. Thursday, about a 40% chance of showers. The high up to 28, slightly above seasonal by a couple of degrees. And then sunny to end the work week for most. Friday, looking forward to that. Saturday, Sunday, warming up a bit by Sunday. 26, then 28. Fair weather for both days at this juncture. That's what I'm predicting. And Monday, 23, coolish, but pleasant enough. Only one day out of this week with some showers at this juncture. take advantage of your weather. Have yourselves a good night. Sanjay?
And we leave you with a beautiful spectacle only seen in the summer months. The vibrancy of monarch butterflies fluttering in gardens, and this year especially, Canadians have taken note. CTV's Alison Bamford has more on the recent butterfly boom and what it means for the endangered species.
Tyler Flockhart studies monarch butterflies. He's fascinated by the resilience of something so fragile.
You have an insect that weighs as much as a quarter that can fly all the way from southern Canada all the way to Mexico and then back in the spring. It's pretty remarkable.
Monarch butterflies are an endangered species in Canada and not common on the prairies. But this year, the ecologist is seeing more than usual in Saskatoon, a sign that we could be in the midst of a butterfly boom.
We know that when monarchs are at fairly good numbers in the summer, they start showing up in places where you are in the western provinces.
Look at that. People across the prairies are taking note, patiently capturing the tiny details of metamorphosis from caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly. Experts say it's common for insect populations to fluctuate. Favorable weather conditions likely contributed to this year's numbers.
Over the long term, we're still in a state where the populations are considerably lower than what they had been.
Habitat loss, particularly the loss of milkweed plants, seems to be the main driver behind the declining population. Flockhart is now part of a larger group looking into the monarch's exact habitat locations, using these tiny tags to track where the monarchs go and when they go there. Information that he says could help in conservation.
Particularly for the prairie provinces, it gives us information to understand how important are the prairies to the monarch population as a whole.
Some monarchs have already started migrating. Flockhart hopes to begin tagging butterflies as soon as possible so their flights south can be tracked in real time. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
And that is your news for tonight. Thank you so much, as always, for watching this edition of Windsor's News Leader. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 6 and 11.